Welcome, FlexEd!
So today, we'll be talking about human environmental impact. We begin with the question, what is an ecosystem? The plants, the animals, how about the bacteria and decomposers? And we also have to think about, what about the abiotic factors? Water, air, soil, all these things mesh together to create an ecosystem. In most ecosystems, every organism takes a niche or a specific ecological role and takes advantage of it in order to outcompete their opponents and survive. Organisms are constantly fighting against each other in order to better suit their niche and survive. Organisms interact with each other in order to determine the survival, whether applying top-down pressure through predation and prey relationships or lateral pressure through territoriality. Organisms are restrained by the biotic and the abiotic factors of their ecosystem. These factors determine the carrying capacity, or the amount of organisms of a specific species that can live in a certain area. All these pressures generally maintain an ecosystem and provide long-term stability. But stability can be brought upon by a few more factors. An important factor is biodiversity, or the variety of organisms in an ecosystem. This protects it through both genetic variation, as well as by providing alternative species to fill niches that lose their species through extinction. But as complex and adaptable as ecosystems are, they are also very vulnerable. Without specific roles being filled, the layers of an ecosystem cave in upon themselves, and they cause population loss and biodiversity loss. And now I'd like to introduce my next speaker, Gabriel Leria, who will talk more about the environmental interaction between humans and the ecosystem.
Thank you, Bilal, for introducing us to the ecosystem. I'd like to share how humans have affected our environment and ecosystems through their interactions. Because of their pursuit to benefit themselves as a species and better their lives, their ecological footprint has grown enormously. They have used up both renewable and non-renewable sources. Non-renewable sources being resources that can only be used once, really, and not repeatable, where renewable resources are resources that, with time, are able to be replenished. Now, one of the biggest ways that humans have affected our environment would be pest control. We don't really think about it too much, but we must remember that we are constantly pumping insecticides into our agriculture and trying to benefit from the most amount of crops yielded. However, by doing this, we introduce lots of harmful chemicals into our environments. One that can cause eutrophications of waterways, algae blooms, killing fish, and overall damaging the biodiversity that we so need in every single ecosystem. Another very alarming way that humans affect the environment would be deforestation. Deforestation is the cutting down of forests for development, specifically human development. Doing this destroys entire ecosystems and decreases biodiversity. By taking out all these trees in an area, we increase the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Now, this all leads up to one problem that most people know about, which is global warming. As the name suggests, global warming is the gradual increased temperature throughout the world, and this is mainly because of increased greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide, which we put into our environment through cars and industrial factories. And what they do, they trap the sun's rays in the Earth's atmosphere, increasing the temperature. Too many greenhouse gases are produced from burning fossil fuels, and global warming can cause climate changes which may disrupt food supplies and could cause polar ice caps to melt, flooding coastal areas. When humans make decisions, we should consider how the decision will impact the environment first, pass laws to decrease pollution and waste, and then lastly, consider cost and convenience. Now I'd like to introduce you to another colleague, Sahil Chandra.
All right, so 3 fundamental attributes can be applied to society that relate to ecology. Competition, niches, and carrying capacity are all able to expand their definition to modern times. Humans are in constant equilibrium and constant competition with one another from a young age to get better grades than one another, to get into a better college, a better job, and ultimately more money. Although humans don't have to compete for survival, they have to compete for other resources. The human population also has specific carrying capacity in relation to the Earth. Eventually, no industrial or scientific breakthrough would be able to allow humans to continually grow in population. This carrying capacity will be able to be pushed and delayed temporarily, but eventually will reach its limit. Jobs today are comparable to niches back then. People have the ability to fit a specific role in the society, just how organisms fit a specific role in the ecosystem. I think this raises a question if humans are truly any different from savages. Thank you.